President Trump suggesting the death penalty for drug dealers. Listen.
The only way to solve the drug problem is through toughness. You kill one person, you get the death penalty. You kill 5,000 people with drugs because you're smuggling them in and you're making a lot of money and people are dying and they don't even put you in jail. They don't do anything. I don't think we should play games.
So would tougher laws help solve the drug problem? Here to debate this is former drug czar under Presidents Clinton and George W. Bush, Joe Peters, and attorney and former prosecutor Elliot Felig. Thank you both for being with us.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, so Joe, you're in favor of the president's plan. Tell us why.
I am. I mean, this president is a very instinctive leader who is usually correct in his instincts. And he feels that a major punishment for individuals who are trafficking in fentanyl at the highest levels is appropriate. So what does he do? He has the instinct, he throws it out there, it engenders a debate. He likes people to fight over arguments and bring him options, and he decides. I think also very quickly that there's a message here, not only to the Congress and the American people, that we're going to take this drug fight seriously, but in this age of 24/7 media where everybody is tuned in, what would not have been a deterrent 20 years ago, that there could be a death penalty because someone's not thinking about a death penalty at the time of a murder or some other crime. In today's world, drug dealers are going to be very tuned in to this media-savvy president, and I think his message was to them, too.
Elliot, do you agree with that? Do you think the drug dealers are listening to the president's message and care about the punishment?
Well, look, before you can talk about how effective a policy is going to be, first you have to talk about whether it's ever actually going to be implemented. Now, in this case, I have grave doubts about the constitutionality of such a policy. The Supreme Court over and over again has ruled the death penalty to be unconstitutional for non-homicide offenses. And just to put that in context, in a 2008 case involving the most violent, horrific, brutal rape of a child, the Supreme Court in Louisiana tried to impose the death penalty for that crime. The Supreme Court said, no, if it's not a homicide, we're not going to allow the death penalty to pass under the 8th Amendment to the Constitution.
All right, Joe, what do you say to that?
Well, as horrible as that case was, God love that little girl, there was never a death intended. It was a rape. There are laws in many states, things like felonies as a result of a homicide, where you don't intend the death, but it happens. Or homicide by vehicle. You're driving your vehicle. You don't intend the death, but it happens. And in many states, and I think this is very poignant because it talks about the position of states across the country, there's a charge of drug delivery resulting in a death, which means that even though you don't intend the death or want it, if you deliver the drugs and a person dies, it's on you. And that's what the president is talking about. That's what the president's saying.
Elliot, the president does have a good point when he says that. He says if you kill one person, you can get the death penalty. But if you're a drug dealer and you kill more than one person, which that oftentimes happens, people don't know what they're taking, drugs this day and age. They're synthetic drugs. They're laced with all kinds of stuff, and people are dying as a result. Then why shouldn't they get the death penalty as well?
Well, look, if you can prove a causal connection, a strong enough causal connection between a specific drug deal and a specific death, then you might be able to bring actual homicide charges. But just to go back to this deterrent thing, deterrence is, of course, an important goal of the criminal justice system, but it's by no means the only consideration. I have no doubt that if we cut people's hands off for theft-related convictions like they do sometimes in Saudi Arabia or Nigeria, that would be an effective deterrence against theft crimes. But no one's really going to argue that under our Constitution, such a law would be permissible.
All right, Joe, Elliot, thank you for being on with us to talk about it.